Mr. Benning, it's good to see your attorney has finally decided to join us.
I apologize, Your Honor. My reasons for my absence can be found on our private docket.
I understand. Don't worry. Stuff happens, all right? All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue. Prosecution, who is your next witness?
Your Honor, the state calls Terry Jacobs to the stand.
Reminder, though, too, as well, to make sure that your hats and masks are, in fact, off in the courtroom, and make sure you eat and drink as well.
Okay.
So if you could please raise your left hand.
And Mr. Jenkins, make sure you're speaking loudly as well.
Alright, sir. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah, I do.
You may be seated, and the witness is sworn in, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead and sit down. All right, go ahead and get started here.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. Apologies, I'm getting my times mixed up. Could you please state your name for the purposes of the record?
Yeah, it's Terry Jacobs.
Okay. And Terry Jacobs, where do you work?
I work at Mosley's. I'm a mechanic.
Okay. Were you ever involved in an incident with William Benning?
Yeah, I was. I've only actually met him once, and it was an incident that happened at the mechanic shop.
Okay. Can you explain what happened?
Yeah. I'm not sure how it all started. Like I said, I only met him the once. He was pretty chill. Everyone was joking and laughing and having a good time. You know, it was all banter and things. They were taking the people, like everyone who was working, they were sort of taking the mick out of him for looking like Adam West.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but sorry, just for our clarity, what does take a nick mean?
Oh, so it's like banter, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
right.
saying that he looked like Adam West and sounded like Adam West. So you know, he was giving banter back, and you know, everyone was sort of joking and laughing. Everything was cool, and then it sort of just like flipped, and then he started like getting angry and that. He said he was gonna. So I'm not sure if he actually started punching first or if he pissed on the car first. Oh, sorry, urinated on the car first. But it escalated to the car being urinated on, to him punching a couple of the staff. So the owner told him, the mechanic side owner told him to leave.
Okay, could you just explain for us what happened between him urinating on the car and the assault?
Yeah. So he said he was going to do it. Obviously, he was.
I'm sorry, I have to cut you off for a moment. He said he was going to do what, sir?
He was going to urinate on the car.
Okay, so he made that clear to you?
Yeah, he said he was going to do it, and then he stood up to the car and actually did it.
Okay, all right, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so he was told to leave. He wouldn't leave. So then he was, so the owner sort of escorted him or walked with him off the property. I'm not sure. I wasn't actually around the corner when what happened next, but I was told afterwards that he attacked the owner. So the owner came back inside. He came back onto the property after he was told to leave. He started fist fighting with the owner again then. And then he pulled a gun on the owner. The owner pulled the gun back, and so did a couple of the mechanics at the store. He was told to leave again. And then he said he was gonna sue us, and he was gonna get the cops, and he was gonna get his lawyer and all this jazz. So we called just to cover ourselves. We called an officer down just to file a report, just to make it known that.
Your Honor, the defense objects on the motion of narrative.
Sustained. Get to the point, please.
What point?
The point of the question.
Sorry, I'll break up the questions for you a little more, maybe make it a little easier on you, okay? So can you explain what happened just directly relating to the urinating incident?
Yeah, this is all part of the unit.
Yeah, I know, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so we're like, obviously, because he said he was going to sue us and all this jazz, we got an officer down to document everything. And then after we'd done this, we banned him from the store, and then we were getting like notes from people saying that he was going to come back and get us and all this shit.
Okay. And so you said earlier that he went up to the car. Can you give us, I know this is pretty weird, but can you give us a detailed explanation of what he did when he started urinating on the vehicle?
Yeah, okay. I mean, he walked up to the front left-hand side of my car, pulled his thing out, and urinated on the side of my car.
Okay. So you heard him say earlier today that, sorry, Judge.
No, keep going.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were saying something. My apologies. You heard Mr. Benning say earlier today that you have no restrooms available to the public. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know what he meant by that. We got restrooms, and they're used actively.
Okay. Do you ever recall him asking to use the bathroom?
No, not at all. His intention wasn't, his intention was purely to defecate on the vehicle. It was nothing to do with needing the bathroom or having any sort of issues or problems. If he had an issue or problem and asked for a restroom, he would have been taken to one and just shown where they were.
Okay. And whose vehicle was this?
It was mine.
It was your car.
Yeah.
And what step did you take to clean the car?
It was jet washed down. Take it to a car wash immediately afterwards.
Okay.
And yeah.
Sorry, I believe counsel was trying to mention something.
Oh, no.
Oh, apologies. No, apologies. My apologies. Sorry, Mike. Just one moment, sir. And you say that you didn't witness, for the most part, the assault incident.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say that he instigated it. I didn't see. I did see, punches being thrown back and forth. And then, like I said, it escalated then to him pulling a weapon out on the owner. So then, obviously, we pulled the weapon back. Then he was told to leave again. And as he was leaving, he said he was going to get his lawyer and sue us, and he was going to get us arrested and all this different stuff.
I wanted to talk to you about that as well. How many times did you tell him to leave the property?
I mean, between sort of 4 or 5 of us, he was told multiple. I would say about 10 times at least.
10 times?
Yeah, at least. I couldn't give you an exact number. It was multiple times he was told to leave. Kindly, he was told to leave. Not so kindly, he was actively told to leave.
Okay. And did he leave on his own accord?
Eventually, once the guns were pulled, he sort of, it was almost like
Objection, Your Honor. Narrative. It was a yes or no question.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he did.
You wait till the objection is told, okay, Mr. Jacob? And I'm going to overrule this. Continue.
Go ahead with your explanation, sir.
Yeah, so he was told to leave before it got once it got to the urinating stage. He was told to leave after the fist fight. He was told to leave once the weapons were pulled on him, and then eventually once he was sort of outnumbered with 4, I would say 3 or 4 weapons pulled on him, he eventually left, but without. Even when he was leaving, it was still, he was going to escalate it further. Even then, it wasn't just leaving. He had to sort of get the last word in. Okay.
And did you know he was a state representative?
Yeah. It was my first time meeting him, and like I said, up until he sort of escalated, at first I thought he was a pretty cool guy.
Okay. So you said it was your first time meeting him. How did this incident make you feel?
At first I thought he was cool, and then obviously once he peed on my car and started attacking everyone and pulling guns out, and that he thought he was quite a dangerous man.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense, your turn.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you mind just restating your name for the record, sir?
Yes, Terry Jacobs.
Hi, Mr. Jacobs. When Mr. Benning was at the auto dealership, was he, before he pulled out his weapon, was he attacked, or did people pose a threat to him prior to the weapon being pulled?
No, he instigated it. He said he was in an active fist fight with somebody and he pulled his gun.
Okay.
There wasn't multiple people. There was no reason to escalate to that, to that state of violence. It was 2 people fighting, and then he felt the need to pull a weapon.
Right. Okay. You said there were multiple people there. Were you able to positively identify Mr. Benning as the one who instigated the occurrence?
I mean, yeah, he was told multiple times to leave after he peed on the car. I mean, it was
Okay, that
he
didn't
couldn't
answer
be
my.
mistaken for someone.
That wasn't my
He's saying-
question, sir. It was. Were you able to positively identify Mr. Benning
Yes,
as?
I was. Yes, I was. Yes.
Okay. And you said earlier that he left on his own accord rather than after being told multiple times.
Yeah,
Correct?
because you worded it that way. Yeah. I mean, it was an escalation, as I said. He was told to leave kindly. He was told to leave not so kindly. He didn't leave until he escalated to the point of pulling a gun on someone. I mean,
Okay, and then I just want to touch a little bit on the incidents where he defecated in public. Were bathrooms made available to him?
I mean, if he'd have said, "I need to use the bathroom," where are the bathrooms? He would have been taken to one. But he said, "I'm going to piss on this car," and then did it.
Okay, and you never called the police at all during the situation, did you?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like calling the police. It's not my point. It's not my place to. It's not my business. So
Okay, but Mr. Benning, in your words, he committed a crime? So why weren't the police called?
they were called after you left.
You just said the police weren't called during the incident.
It wasn't called, no, because they weren't called during the incident. They were called after he left.
Okay. Why'd you call them after but not during the incident, sir?
As I said, I didn't.
Okay. So I just want to get this straight. Sorry, just from my recollection. So the police were not called during the incident. However, they were called after because you didn't want to call them, correct?
Mr. Suring, he did answer that they were called after. We do not need to rehash this. Please move on.
Okay. Why were the police called after?
Because he said that he was going to call the police and he was going to get his lawyer involved. And just due to making sure there was something documented that we weren't the issue and we weren't the one causing it, we wanted it on record.
Okay, and I just want to go back, touch back on the restroom issue. Was there, you said that if he was offered if he said he needed to use the restroom, he would have been escorted to the one. Is there any public signage of the restroom in your facility at all?
Yeah, there's a door on the door. It says restroom.
Okay, are there signs out on the showroom floor directing a customer or a client to the restroom?
No, but I mean, unless if you're a child, if you need the bathroom, you would say, "Oh, is there a bathroom here?" And I'm sure multiple staff would be able to say, "Yes, here it is," and take them to him.
Okay, excuse me 1 minute.
And more to the point, if you needed to go to the bathroom that bad, would you go out? Would you walk over to a car and do it on a car, or would you sort of find a corner or something? I mean,
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to object on no pending question. I didn't ask a question. He continued to talk.
I'm going to overrule it.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
State reps, do you have any further questions for Mr. Jacob? Can you speak up, please, Ms. Lawson?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jacobs, thank you. I will keep this brief out of respect for your time. When you say that the situation escalated, can you clarify sort of what happened between things being peaceable and the situation escalated, and what was the inciting incident in your view?
I mean, so it was sort of light-hearted banter for the most part, and then he just sort of switched. I couldn't give you an exact timing to when it did. It's just he went from sort of joking with everyone to sort of getting quite aggressive. And then obviously, you know, as I said, he escalated then to urinating on the vehicle and then getting into the fist fight.
So when you say suddenly, can you give me an idea of, was this within the span of a couple of sentences?
Pretty much, yeah. It got to the point where, like, at first we didn't know that he was being aggressive. You know, we thought it was part of the banter, you know, and it was only when he sort of went over to the vehicle and peed on it that we realized that he wasn't joking and he wasn't a joke anymore, and he was quite upset and aggressive.
Absolutely. At Mosley's, I'm sure you deal with, I would say, irate customers, or what I would say is sort of a baseline unpleasant experience. Correct? Someone may be unhappy about the price of a car or upset about
Yeah,
customer
yeah, of
service.
course. Yeah, it
Would
can
you?
happen.
How would you compare this experience with Mr. Benning to that baseline? Was it? Does that fit within your usual expectations of a customer's conduct?
No, I've never seen anyone act the way he acted.
Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Hunt, do you have anything further for Mr. Jacob?
Yes, sir. I'd just like to clarify a couple things.
Okay.
Okay, so you were asked a question by Mr. Benning's attorney with regard to who instigated this whole situation. And then he went on to identifying people inside the area. Do you recall those questions?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. It's fair to say that everyone around you, except for Benning, you knew.
Oh yeah. Obviously, I work with them. They're long-term friends or colleagues.
Right. So it wouldn't be hard for you to say, oh, this is somebody I don't know, and then everybody else, these are all my colleagues.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And you were asked a couple questions about were bathrooms made available to him. Do you ever recall him asking to use the bathroom?
No, not once. This is the sort of the issue I was trying to say when he said about it. There wasn't one. There wasn't any sort of initially.
Mr. Hunt, that was
Yeah,
asked
yes,
and
Judge.
answered.
And he talked to you a little about never calling the police. Is it fair to say this was a pretty hectic situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of. I shouldn't really say that because we do, obviously we did call the police. It was a very hectic situation. Everything sort
Okay.
of just, it went from 0 to 100 pretty quickly.
But then after the situation ended, you called the police, didn't you?
Yeah, of course we did. Chose,
Okay.
we all did.
And you were asked a little bit about signs to use the bathroom. Did he say he was going to piss on a vehicle?
Yeah, that was his intention. To me, from the scenario from the way it worked out, it wasn't I'm desperately in need of a bathroom. It was I'm doing this for this reason.
Okay.
That's the way it came across to me.
Thank you, Judge. If I could have one moment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now,
Not so close.
oh, apologies. All right. Now, you stated that essentially Mr. Benning stated he was going to urinate on the vehicle. He didn't, ask to or anything like that, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a case of
This was asked and answered. Can you get to the point, please?
Of course. Now, did you perceive that to be as a retaliatory action from Mr. Benning?
Yeah, it seemed to be an escalation from the wordplay that was going back and forth.
Okay. I believe that's all.
Defense, do you have anything further for this witness? If
No,
you're
Your
speaking,
Honor.
all right, Mr. Jacobs. I have one question for you.
Yeah, sure.
You said this was the first time you've ever interacted with Mr. Benning.
It was, yeah.
Have you ever heard of Mr. Benning's reputation from other people?
No, not before this. No.
All right,
I
thank
didn't
you.
know who he was until I asked when we were there, who is he? And I was told and then who he was.
All right, thank you very much. Anything further from either side?
Not for this witness, Your Honor.
No, Your
Right.
Honor.
Mr. Jacob, you can go ahead and step down. Please remember you are under oath and you may be called again for further testimony, okay?
No problem. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.